Rise your standard, good, better, best. It's a cycle most people settle for. They wake up, do just enough and call it a day. But not you. You're here because deep down you know you're built for more. You feel that fire, that hunger, that drive to push beyond your limits. And that's the difference between the average and the elite. The standard, most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they accept too little from themselves. They're stuck in comfort, drowning in excuses, whispering, I'll start tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow is just a coffin for the dreams you refuse to chase today. Your standard determines your future, not your background, not your genetics, not luck, just you. If you wake up every day and accept mediocrity, you'll live a life of regret. If you demand excellence, discipline, and resilience, you'll build a life most people only dream about. It's not about motivation. Motivation is a joke. It fades when life gets hard. What lasts is your standard, the level you refuse to drop below. Think about it. Do you want to be the person who says they could have been great, or do you want to be the one who actually did it? If you're tired of where you are, stop waiting for someone to save you. No one's coming. You are the answer. So raise your standard, make pain your fuel, demand more from yourself. Because the world doesn't reward the ones who try, it rewards the ones who refuse to quit. It's time to rise. No more excuses, no more limits, no more playing small. Own your mind, own your life, own your standard. Comfort is a killer. Comfort is the slow poison that robs you of greatness. It sneaks in when you're tired, when things get easy, when you start believing you've done enough. But here's the truth. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Most people live their whole lives avoiding pain, avoiding struggle, avoiding discomfort. They say, I just want to be happy. But happiness isn't found in avoiding hard things. It's found in conquering them. It's found in proving to yourself that you can do what most people won't. Look around. How many people do you know who are truly pushing themselves every single day? Not just when they feel like it, not just when it's convenient, every single day. Not many, right? That's because comfort has turned them into prisoners. They don't even realize they're locked in a cell because they've decorated the walls with excuses. I don't have time. I'm not built for that. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow's a lie. Tomorrow's just an easy way to let yourself off the hook. Comfort whisper in your ear, take a break. You deserve it. But what have you really done to deserve a break? Have you emptied the tank? Have you given everything you've got? If the answer is no, then that voice telling you to rest is nothing but weakness. And here's the thing, comfort never just takes a little. It keeps taking. It takes your drive, it takes your discipline, it takes your potential. And before you know it, years have passed and you're sitting there wondering why you never became the person you were meant to be. There's a reason the best in the world live in discomfort. The elite, the unstoppable, they don't wake up looking for an easy day. They wake up looking for a challenge because they know that's where growth happens. You want to be stronger? Put yourself in the fire. You want to be smarter? Do the hard work that others avoid. You want to be successful? Then stop looking for shortcuts and start embracing the grind. Comfort is a killer, and the only way to survive is to kill it first. Your standards define your life. Look at your life right now. Look at your body, your mindset, your bank account, your relationship. Everything you have or don't have is a reflection of what you've accepted. Your standards are the blueprint for your reality. Most people set their standards low because it's easy. It's easy to say this is good enough. It's easy to stay in the same job, in the same shape, with the same weak mindset because raising the bar means pain. It means sacrifice. And most people don't want that. They want comfort. They want the bare minimum. And then they wonder why they never feel fulfilled. You don't get in life what you wish for. You don't even get what you work for. You get what you tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, you'll be lazy. If you tolerate excuses, you'll live in them. If you tolerate weakness, don't be surprised when life keeps kicking your ass. You ever notice how some people seem unstoppable? They weren't born that way. They just set a standard so high that nothing less is acceptable. They wake up early, not because they feel like it, but because that's the standard. They push their bodies not because it's fun, but because that's the standard. They dominate every area of their lives, not because they're special, but because they refuse to be average. Average people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they accept failure. They fail because they never demanded more from themselves. Your standards are like gravity. They pull everything in your life to their level. If you have low standards, everything will sink. If you raise them, everything will rise. So ask yourself, what's your standard? Are you the type of person who quits when it gets hard? Are you the type who lets fear, doubt, and laziness run the show? Or are you the type who looks in the mirror and says, I refuse to live below my potential, and then actually backs it up with action? The difference between the weak and the strong, the broke and the rich, the forgotten and the legendary, it's not luck. It's the standard they hold themselves to every single day. Pain is your greatest ally. Pain is the one thing in life that will never lie to you. It will never flatter you. It will never let you hide behind excuses. Pain is the purest form of truth you will ever experience. And most people spend their whole damn lives running from it. They avoid discomfort like it's the plague. They take the easy route. They look for shortcuts. They don't want to struggle. They don't want to suffer. And because of that, they stay weak. They stay average. But pain is the doorway. Every time you push yourself, every time you go beyond what you thought was possible, pain is right there with you. It's testing you. It's asking, how bad do you want this? And most people, they fold, they break, they quit the second it gets hard. But the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who embrace pain instead of running from it, those are the ones who rise. Look at any warrior, any champion, any person who has built themselves into something great. They didn't get there by cruising through life on autopilot. They got there by suffering, by waking up when they didn't want to, by grinding when no one was watching, by pushing through every ounce of pain until the pain had nothing left to take from them. Pain is your ally because it exposes weakness. It shows you where you need to grow, strips away all the fake toughness, all the talk, and leaves you with nothing but raw truth. And that truth, that's your opportunity. That's the moment where you either crumble or you decide to become something greater. The weak avoid pain, the strong use it. They take that fire and turn it into fuel. They turn suffering into strength. They turn failure into hunger. They don't just survive the pain, they build themselves with it. So next time you feel pain creeping in, don't run. Don't make excuses. Smile, because pain is here to make you better. Pain is here to see what you're made of. And the question is, are you going to break or are you going to rise? Raise your floor, not just your ceiling. Most people only focus on their best days. They talk about their peak moments, their highlights, the times they felt unstoppable. They set these big flashy goals and say, one day I'm going to be great. But what happens when that motivation dies? What happens when they wake up tired, when life punches them in the mouth? That's when the truth comes out. See, your ceiling, the best version of you, that's just a glimpse of what's possible. But your floor, that's what you fall back on when things get tough. That's your bare minimum, the level you refuse to drop below. And that's where the real battle is. Anyone can have a good day. Anyone can push hard when they feel like it. But the elite, they don't just raise their highest level, they raise their lowest level. Think about it. If your best is 100%, but your worst is 20%, then most days you're dragging through life at 40, 50%. That's why you're inconsistent. That's why you struggle. That's why you're stuck, because your floor is too damn low. The goal isn't to have crazy highs and then fall off. The goal is to make your worst days better than most people's best. The goal is to get to a point where even when you're sick, tired, broken, and beaten down, you're still dangerous. You're still outworking, outlasting, and outperforming everybody else. And the only way to do that, you train your floor. You don't let yourself slack. You don't negotiate with weakness. You don't wake up and say, do I feel like working today? No, you just do it. Whether you're at 100% or 30%, you show up and handle business, because that's the standard. That's the expectation. That's what separates the ones who talk from the ones who dominate. So stop focusing on your best days. Your best days don't define you. Your worst ones. How do you show up when you don't want to? How do you perform when everything in you is screaming to stop? That's the difference between the average and the unstoppable. Raise your floor. Make your lowest level unbreakable. And watch how your entire life changes. Suffer now, thrive later. Most people want success, but they don't want the suffering that comes with it. They want the rewards, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want the finish line, but they don't want the miles. That's why most people never make it, because success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about your relationship with suffering. See, every great person you admire, every champion, every warrior, every beast that walks this earth, they all paid the price. They suffered while the rest of the world was comfortable. They showed up when no one was watching. They trained when they were tired. They worked when they were broken. And because of that, they built something inside of them that most people never will. An unshakable mind. Suffering is the tax you pay for greatness. You want to be strong? You better be ready for pain. You want to be rich? You better be ready to grind while everyone else is sleeping. You want to be the best? You better be ready to go through hell and keep going. But most people, they quit at the first sign of struggle. They feel a little discomfort and run straight back to their comfort zone. And that's why they stay the same. That's why they never level up, because they don't understand that suffering isn't the enemy. Suffering is the process. Every rep you push past the pain, every hour you work when you don't feel like it, every moment you refuse to quit, that's a deposit. That's you investing in your future self. That's you stacking the bricks of the empire you're building. And the people who understand this, they don't run from suffering. They chase it. They wake up looking for ways to make themselves uncomfortable. They seek out the hard path because they know that's where growth happens. So you have two choices: suffer now or suffer later. Suffer now, train harder, work longer, sacrifice more, and you will thrive later. Your body will be stronger. Your mind will be sharper. Your life will be yours to control. But if you take the easy road now, if you avoid the struggle, if you keep making excuses, you will suffer later. You will suffer in regret. You will suffer in mediocrity. You will suffer knowing that you had the chance to be great and you let it slip away. So which one is it? Which pain are you going to choose? Because make no mistake, suffering is coming either way. Cut the weakness. Weakness is a disease. It starts small. One excuse, one skipped workout, one day of slacking off. And before you know it, it spreads. It infects your mindset. It poisons your discipline. It turns you into someone you don't even recognize. Someone soft, someone average, someone who breaks when life applies pressure. And the worst part, you let it happen. Weakness doesn't just show up and take over. It waits for permission. It waits for the moment you decide to take the easy way out. It waits for you to say, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into never. That's how people wake up years later wondering where their ambition went, where their discipline went, where their edge went. Because they never cut the weakness. Listen, weakness is your enemy. It's the voice in your head telling you to hit snooze. It's the feeling that says, take it easy today. It's every excuse, every doubt, every moment you choose comfort over growth. And if you don't kill it, it will kill you. It will kill your dreams. It will kill your drive. It will kill the version of you that was supposed to be great. So how do you cut the weakness? You hunt it down, you call it out, you face it head on. When your body says, I'm tired, you push harder. The question is, are you willing to go to war with yourself? Are you willing to look in the mirror and destroy every piece of weakness staring back at you, or are you going to let it win? Because make no mistake, it's either you or the weakness. One of you isn't walking away. Own your mind. Your mind is the gatekeeper to everything in your life. Your success, your failure, your discipline, your weakness. It all starts in your head. And most people, they don't own their mind. Their mind owns them. They wake up and immediately let their emotions take control. I don't feel like getting up, so they hit snooze. I'm too tired to train today, so they skip the workout. I don't have the motivation, so they do nothing. Weakness, softness, slavery, because that's exactly what you are when you don't control your mind, a slave to your feelings, a puppet to every excuse, every doubt, every negative thought that creeps in and tells you to quit. The people who dominate life, the people who are unbreakable, they're not the ones who have it easy. They're not the ones who are naturally gifted. They're the ones who learned how to own their mind. Owning your mind means you don't negotiate with weakness. It means when your brain tries to make excuses, you override it with action. You feel tired? Good, work anyway. You feel like quitting? Too bad, keep going. You feel like you can't push any harder? You've got another gear, find it. Your mind is a battlefield, and the war is won or lost every single day in the choices you make. You either train your mind to work for you or you let it control you. And here's the truth. Your mind is always listening. Every time you skip the hard thing, every time you back down from discomfort, every time you take the easy route, your mind is learning. It's learning that weakness is okay, that quitting is an option, that failure is acceptable. But when you start owning your mind, when you push through the pain, when you override the excuses, when you refuse to listen to the weakness, that's when you build something different. That's when your mind becomes your weapon instead of your enemy. Owning your mind means you control the narrative. It means you don't let fear, doubt, or failure write your story. You take the pen. You decide how this ends. So the question is, who's in control, you or your mind? Because one of you is going to win this war, and it damn well better be you. No finish line. Most people have a finish line in their head. Once I lose this weight, I'm done. Once I hit this goal, I can relax. Once I make this money, I've made it. That's why most people stay average, because they think the grind has an end. It doesn't. There is no finish line. There is no made it. There is only the next level. The second you start thinking you're done, you've already lost. The second you slow down, life is waiting to pass you by. Because the truth is, the moment you stop pushing forward, you start slipping backward. The best in the world know this. That's why they never stop. That's why they don't celebrate too long. That's why they don't sit around talking about what they did, because they're too busy focusing on what they're about to do next. See, most people want the success, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. They want to win once and then coast, but that's not how this works. You don't just climb the mountain once and call it a day. You wake up and climb it again and again and again, because the grind never stops. You think you're in shape? Push harder. You think you've reached your limit? Go past it. You think you've done enough? You haven't even scratched the surface. That's the mentality that separates the unstoppable from the forgotten, the hungry from the satisfied, the legends from the ones who almost made it. And that's the difference. The ones who almost made it thought they were done. The real beast knew they were just getting started. What's it going to be? Are you going to cross some imaginary finish line and slow down? Or are you going to wake up every day and remind yourself, this race doesn't end. This work doesn't stop. And neither do I. The standard is set. Now live it. Everything you want. Every ounce of strength, discipline, and greatness. It's all on the other side of suffering. It's all waiting for the version of you that refuses to be weak, refuses to take the easy way out, refuses to accept anything less than absolute domination over their own mind, body, and future. No more excuses. No more waiting for the right time. No more listening to that weak voice telling you to slow down. That version of you dies today. From this moment on, you set the standard and you never drop below it. You don't just raise your ceiling, you raise your floor. You don't just push when it's easy, you push when it's hell. Because there is no finish line. This work never ends. So the choice is yours. Are you going to keep living like everybody else? Or are you going to rise above and live like a savage? Because at the end of the day, there's only one truth. Comfort is a killer. Weakness is a disease. Pain is your greatest ally, and suffering is the price of greatness. And if you're not willing to pay that price, then step aside, because those of us who are, we're just getting started.